Hey guys, welcome to today's video. So I thought it'd be fun if I did a little video where I prepared for spring or like reset for spring. So I'm very excited for spring and summer. I'm a very spring and summery girl, which you can probably tell from my channel and my room. I feel like I'm very colourful. I'm not into the fall aesthetic and like Halloween and stuff. I'm more of a summery girl. The sun makes me very happy, and so do all the colours and everything. So I'm very excited, and I thought we could do some fun things to kind of prepare for spring and go over the things I want to do in spring. So I have a TBR of books I want to read in the spring. I also have some projects I want to do, like crochet and knitting projects. And I also wanted to make a little mood board in my scrapbook just for what I want my spring to look like and anything I want to get done in spring, maybe my goals for spring. So yeah, I haven't really done a video like this before where I've like prepared for a season, but I thought it'd be fun. I see everyone preparing for fall and I'm like, why can't I do that for spring? So I also know a lot of you guys will be going into fall, so this is a bit of like a vibe change, but hopefully you guys like the video anyways, and maybe you can like reminisce a little, because I know summer is ending for you and you can be excited for me to go into spring. Anywho, let's just get into this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. We're gonna start with my spring TBR, I think. Yeah, I think firstly we'll go over the books I want to read in spring. So I have 8 books I want to read in spring. I mostly pick these books because they have like a spring vibe. And I've also been wanting to read most of them for a while. Let's just get into it. The first book we have, I feel like screams spring. It's like the most spring book I have. I also tried to choose books that I do think I'll read in spring, not just books that have like a spring aesthetic or whatever. But yes, the first book is Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. I've actually started this book before. I got to page 130. I started it 2 or 3 years ago and I was enjoying it, but I was reading it really slowly. This is a children's classic. It's not a hard read, but the plot was kind of slow. Things were moving quite slowly, which I think is done on purpose. I feel like this is a book that's like cozy and nice to read. I felt like there wasn't a lot going on. I also already knew the story from watching M with an E, which I love that show so much. But that being said, I do want to get back into it. I do think it's a book I'll really enjoy. I just need to find the right time to read it, a time when I'm in a mood for a slow book like that. And like I said, I was really enjoying it while I was reading it. I just felt like I wasn't picking it up a lot, so I wanted to read something else and come back to it when I felt like it was a better time to read it. I'm very excited to pick it back up. Like I said, I love Anne's character. When we start this book, she's quite young. I think she's like a teenager or like 13 maybe. And she has a big imagination. She came from an orphanage. She's been adopted by this brother and sister. She's in this new place and she has so much to say. She has so much wonder. She appreciates everything, and I just love that about her. I love reading her thoughts and everything she has to say. She's very unforgivably herself, if that makes sense. Like, she is who she is. She hasn't changed that for other people. I think from watching the show and stuff, she goes through some backlash. Some people think she's a bit weird, but in the end she doesn't change and she's still who she is. And I really appreciate that in a character. And I think it's a very inspirational character. I feel like this would be a really sweet book to read if you're a kid or like a teenager. But yeah, I'm very excited to pick this book back up. This is also on my 2025 TBR. And then another book on that said TBR is The Secret Garden. This book gives me like very similar vibes to this one. This is also a classic. I think it's also a children's classic by Frances Hodgson Burnett. I think this author also wrote The Prince or something like that, which is also a book I wanted to read. My mum has been telling me to read this book since I was a child. She loved this book when she was a kid and she read it, and so she's always been telling me to read it, and I've just never picked it up. But I finally have it and I am going to read it soon, hopefully in spring. I don't know a lot about this story. I've just heard amazing things. Obviously it's a classic. I feel like it's going to be a very fun story. I feel like it'll be a little nostalgic. I'm just very excited for the vibes this book will have. Also, I think there's definitely a few movies or something to do with this book, and I'd love to watch those after I finish this. I think it's also a little sad, but I'm very excited. It was also quite short. Oh, it has drawings. I love that. It has little illustrations. I'm very excited for this. I feel like it'll be a lot of fun. Another like cozy spring kind of book. We then have Practice Makes Perfect by Sara Adams. I've been wanting to read this book since it came out. This is a romance book, a part of a series. I think it's the second book. The first book is When in Rome, and that book just doesn't intrigue me. The plot and the premise of the book just doesn't interest me at all. I think there's like a chef and I don't know. But I've always been interested by this book. It's a bodyguard and like a florist. I've heard really good things, and I don't know why. I've just felt like I'd really enjoy it since I heard about it. And I only bought it recently. Well, actually, I think I bought it in like January. But I've been very excited to pick it up. It also screams spring. Yeah, I'm just very excited. I also haven't read a book where one of the characters is like a florist or does any gardening or anything. I feel like that'll be fun to read about. And I'm also excited to try a book by Sara Adams. I haven't read anything by her yet. I do have the cheat sheet by her, which is like an OG BookTok book. But she gets a lot of praise. I think this will be like a fun, easy read. But yeah, I'm very excited for this. We then have Heartless by Elsie Silver, which has been on so many TBRs of mine. I have said I've wanted to read this book so many times, and I just haven't gotten to it. I couldn't tell you why. I have no reason whatsoever. I think I'm really gonna like it, so... But that being said, I feel like every book on my TBR, like 90% of them, I think I'm gonna really like, so it has a lot of competition. This is the second book in the Chestnut Spring series. I read Flawless last year. I enjoyed it. I didn't love it, but I've been excited to continue the series. I really think I'm going to like this one. This is a lot of people's favorites. It's a single dad nanny romance. My favorite kind of romance. We're set at this ranch or farm, whatever it is, with a cowboy. I'm very excited. These books also scream like spring summer to me. I'm itching to continue this series because I've had it for so long, and Elsie Silver is coming out with a new series as well. Well, she's had a few books come out in her new series, the Wilde Love series I think it is, which I've heard mixed things about those books, but I do want to also give that series a go, and her old series. So I've got some reading to do, but I really think I'm going to enjoy this book. I haven't read a single dad nanny book in a while, I think. That is definitely like one of my favorite tropes, mostly because I just love kids and books. So I'm very excited for this book. And then the next books I want to read, I don't have physically yet because I need to buy them, but I do really want to read them soon. So next we have Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales, which is the third book in the Emily Wilde series. I'm currently reading the second book, and this this cover screams spring. I don't know how many times I'm going to say that, but you're going to hear it a lot in this video, I'm afraid. I am basically halfway through the series. This is the second book, like I said, and I want to read the third one in spring, which is the last book in the series. These books all scream spring and summer. Look at the covers. This is what I want my spring and summer to look like. So yeah, I've loved this series so much. I don't want to ever leave this world. I definitely have to pick up the third one in spring. Another book I want to read, which doesn't really scream spring, but I'm planning to read it during the spring months, is A Ballad for Never After, which is the second book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. I have not read the first book. I started, I think I got to page like 150 or something, and then I DNF'd it. I'm planning to get back into it very soon, so I'm hoping I'll finish that book and then I can read the next book in spring, and I'm planning to also buddy read that book with my friends, so very excited for that book. I don't know if those books give off spring vibes, but they are books I'm planning to read during those months. I then have Gloves Off, which I'm going to read on Kindle Unlimited. That book is by Stephanie... All I can think of is the other two Stephanie Garber and Stephanie Alves. Who is she? Ugh, I gotta check. Stephanie Archer. There's too many Stephanies. Anyways, I can't really say that as a Madison, but I really want to read this book. I really liked The Wingman, which is the third book in this series, the Vancouver Storm series, and Gloves Off is the fourth book that came out a few months ago now. I've been really wanting to pick it up. I just need to find the time to pick it up. But yeah, like I said, I loved the third book so much. That book also screams spring. And I just can't stop thinking about that book. I read it last year, I think, and I didn't love the other books in the series, but after reading the third one, I'm really liking it. I've been really excited for Gloves Off, and we also got glimpses of those characters Actually, we got more than glimpses. We saw a lot of those characters. Georgie or Georgia and Volkov, I think it was. We saw a lot of them in the wingman. We're now going to see them in a arranged marriage, or like a marriage of convenience. And they're like enemies to lovers. They despise each other and they're kind of like the opposite in a way. And I'm just very excited for that. I'm excited for the banter. I'm excited for the arguing. I hope the romance is done well. I don't like in books where the characters like hate each other and then all of a sudden they're like, actually, I don't mind you that much. Let's make out and let's be together forever. And I'm like, where was the transition, you know? We can't just go from like 0 to 100 like that. If you hate each other, I know they don't really hate each other, but I like the tension, you know? So I hope it's done well. Yeah, I'm very excited to read that in the springtime. And lastly, a manga series I want to continue is the Apothecary Diaries. I've read up to volume 3, so I want to continue that series. I read the 3rd volume quite a while ago, I think. I've been reading a few different manga series this year, but I want to prioritize picking back up the Apothecary Diaries in the next few months. I was really enjoying it, and I want to make sure I pick the next book up before I forget everything that happened, because that tends to happen. The Apothecary Diaries is quite popular. There's like a few different variations of it. There's the light novels and there's the TV show, and there might be a few others. I was the most intrigued by starting with the manga, and then I might read the light novels or watch the show. But yeah, I've really enjoyed it so far, and I'm really intrigued to see where this goes. And you cannot tell me those covers do not scream spring. They are so bright and colourful and I love them. I would love to actually own the covers just because they're so pretty. So hopefully I love the series and then I have an excuse to buy them. But buying like manga and graphic novels is so hard because there's so many of them in the series and they're so expensive. But anyways, I'm very excited to continue that series. So those are all the books I'm planning to read in spring. I'm obviously planning to read some other books for videos and stuff, but I want to try and get to those as well. I think next we might do my mood board in my junk journal. I haven't done a spread in here in a while. I've kind of neglected this journal in the past few months, but I definitely want to get back into it. I'm planning to just do like a little collage, I guess, of some like photos of spring from Pinterest, and then maybe write down some goals, some projects and stuff I want to do to like inspire me a little. Let's make a fun little mood board for spring together. So I made my little mood board. That was very fun. I need to get back into doing more sprays in my junk journal because it's so relaxing and I really enjoy it. Anywho, let's talk about the crochet and knitting projects I want to do in spring. So I've shown quite a bit of crochet and knitting on this channel in like reading vlogs or doing book stuff videos here and there, and I love sharing it. So I thought we could just go over some things I want to make that you might see in some videos. So firstly, I have some very pretty yarn I want to work with. So I bought all this yarn from Fancy Yarns, which is a small business in Australia. I don't know if they do international shipping, but I have been really wanting to buy yarn from a small business that's a little more pricey, but that's like hand dyed and like made by them basically, instead of buying yarn from like Spotlight or Big W or something, which most of my yarn is from places like that. But I wanted to splurge a little and buy some really pretty yarn for some things I wanted to make. So I actually bought 5 skeins of this yarn. So I've already started with one of them. I rolled it up into a ball and I started making a raglan. I need to put this on bigger needles because all the stitches are like kind of bunched up. But so my plan for this yarn is to make a raglan, like a crop top raglan. There's a Fibre Arts YouTuber I watch a lot. I think her name is pronounced Danica, and she makes the prettiest knit baby tees. I think they're so pretty and I want to make something just like that. So that was my plan with this yarn. So I'm going to use this skein and this one. I got 2 and it's so pretty. And it's also glittery. There's like glitter woven throughout it. I've knit a few things, but I haven't made a finished top. I was working on a top and then I was almost done, but then it was too short, so I had to put them back on my needles, and I've just put that to the side for now because I don't want to work on it at the moment. And I really wanted to start this raglan. So this is also my first raglan. My first time doing increases. The first 2 rows look a little messy, but I'm getting the hang of it. And I also tried it on the other day. It actually looks like a top. Like it actually looks like a proper top that I made. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like I was expecting this to be such a hard thing to do, but because I feel like I know the basics, it hasn't been that difficult. And also I love that I can knit in the round and not have to do purling, which makes things go by really fast. I'm very excited for this project. Hopefully I can get a lot more done and I can wear it in the summer and springtime. That's one of the projects I want to do. I also want to make another raglan with these purple skeins. They have like a little bit of pink in them and I love purple. I'm a purple girl, so I knew I had to get some of the purple. And then I also got this green one that has like some pink and yellows in it. I got this one because there was like a deal. I could get an extra one for free. And since I only have 1 skein, I haven't been completely sure what I'm going to make with it. But I think I'm going to make a halter top since I have less yarn. I think I should have enough to make one with a halter top that like goes around my neck and like a loop, not one that I tie. I have a few tops like that I wear a lot. I feel like they're just flattering on me, I guess. I like wearing tops like that, so that's my plan for this yarn. I have no clue how to construct a top like that, so we will face that when I get to it. But anyways, so that's all my knitting plans. And for crochet, I'm in the middle of a project. So I started making the dolly top by Stitch by Emma. She has a YouTube and an Instagram I've been following for a while, and she has the prettiest crochet patterns. And she has this one in particular, the dolly top, that I thought was so pretty and I really wanted to make. It's like a halter top that has this lace that goes around the bottom, and the lace is like a flower pattern. I think it's so pretty and I love how it looks. I'm not a big fan of how a lot of crochet clothing looks. I think I prefer how knit looks a lot of the time, but I like how this piece in particular is constructed, and I think it'll be really cute once I finish it. I don't wear any of my crochet clothes, so I want to make stuff that I will actually wear and that I'm like proud to wear. So I've been working on this lace for a little while. I've been working on it like on and off, but it's been very quick to work up, and then I'm almost finished with the lace, and then I'll do the top portion, the cups, and then I also like a trim to do in like a darker pink color. But yeah, this is also something I want to finish, which actually I was working with I think it was a 3.25mm hook and I lost it, so now I'm using 3.5, and I can't tell if you can tell a difference with the stitches getting bigger. I feel like it looks okay. I'm excited to continue working on this. That's all my plans. I might work on some other things, but yeah, I really want to make some things that I will wear especially during summer. I'm very excited to make those. I think that's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed preparing for spring with me. I hope this video was cozy, and I hope you're just excited for spring, or maybe for whatever season you're going into. Thank you so much for watching. I have a book Instagram and a Goodreads you could check out if you like. I hope to see you guys in another video very soon. Bye!